G'day guys, my name's Danny Bird and I'm a PGA professional based here at the Carbrook Golf Club in southeast Queensland, Australia. In today's video, I'm going to talk you through some basic keys to help you break 80. Now there's plenty of ways of doing it. I've picked a handful of ways that I think are really going to be helpful for you guys, that I know have helped my students when we've been out and played and done some on-course stuff, and that are going to be so easy to implement that you're going to want to do it the moment you head back to the golf course next. Guys, let's get into it. Okay, so if we're looking to break 80, we need to have a game plan. And more than that, we need to stick to the game plan. You'll find that players who shoot good scores, they play the course to their strengths, they premeditate what the game will look like, what they're likely to hit on what holes, and they will stick with it as best as they can. So here we are, we've got a tough par 4, dog legs around some trees. Ideally, we'd love to hit it around the dog leg. You'll see a lot of players will kind of in their mind think, hey, for today, I'll just lay it out to the right and I'll hit it in. That will be the game plan. Then they get to the course. Geez, there's a bit of wind up here today, blowing hard into face. Oh, I might just grab the driver, but by doing so, we bring in the fact that I can't turn the ball over as easily. If I hit it straight, I'm going to hit it into the bunkers. And if I do try to turn it over too much, I'm far more likely to lose control of the club. So yes, there is a little bit of breeze. But we've got to think long term, the smart play. We've already pre-prepped that we're going to play this hole a particular way. Unless it's a gale force wind, we want to stick to it. So we walk up, we're holding the driver, we're tempted by the driver, but we're going to put that away. We're going to stick to the game plan. We're going to take the 3-wood, we're going to aim it down towards those bunkers and just try to hit a normal little draw shot off of those. Another great tip for you guys if you're looking to break 80, know how far you hit the golf ball. That is so crucial. Good players that regularly shoot in the mid 70s or low 70s even, tour pros, the guys and girls we see on TV, guys, they know how far they hit the golf ball. In the modern game, we generally will all have access to a launch monitor, indoor simulators, outdoor TrackMan sessions. There's so much information out there that you can go and spend some time hitting golf shots and find out how far you hit the golf ball. Even if you don't have access to any of those things, guys, take a pen and paper with you when you're out on the golf course, find out how far you've got. For instance, here we've got ourselves about 120 meters to the flag, a little bit of breeze. I would take my pen and paper and make a note. I'd hit the club of choice, which in this instance is going to be my pitching wedge. And then I would know that from the center of the green, the ball was X amount of meters away, and I can do a quick calculation. It's important because on a hole like this, we've got a bunker that's blocking the flag stick. Those sorts of mistakes that we make when we've got short clubs into hand, misjudging the club, being short of the green, landing in that bunker, those basic mistakes end up costing us quite a few shots throughout the round. So it's very, very important that you know how far you hit every single club with carry in the bag. The reason why we use carry, conditions change on a daily basis. Your greens could be soft after a heavy rain, so the ball hits and sticks. Your greens could be really firm after a prolonged period of dry weather. The ball's going to release when it hits that green. So we don't care necessarily about how far total distance, because we have to calculate that more so on the day, on the build up to the day. But for the most important part we could have is how far does the golf ball carry on a stock standard golf swing. So we can see the importance of knowing our yardages. We're sitting about 5 paces short of dead on pin high, meaning that we've taken the bunker well out of play, we've made the right carry, we've picked the right club, we've hit the appropriate shot, and from there it's a lot easier to two-putt than it is to try and get up and down after misjudging our approach play. Okay, guys, in an effort to break 80, to do it consistently, to do it regularly, you have to be working on your short game. You have to have a pretty solid short game. Guys, we need our toolkit to be nice and full for the ability to shoot those scores. Too often I see players, neglect practicing their short game. They might build a real basic level of skill for basic chip shots, but then they're playing, aggressive play, and then they can't bail themselves out with having the appropriate shot to play around the green. So guys, we have to spend some time working on our short game. We have to improve that toolbox. So get comfortable using a lob wedge, get comfortable hitting low sand irons, get confident hitting bump and runs. Be confident when you're short-sighted, because ultimately, the more confident you are with your short game, as crazy as this might sound, the least pressure you're going to feel on that approach shot. So you're more likely to actually hit the approach into the correct spot, because you're not worried if you miss the green. Because if you miss the green, You just figure out a way to get it up and down. So really, really important. If you're one of these players who's looking to break 80 and do it consistently, to do it regularly, guys, you've got to spend at least 50% of your allocated practice time each week working on chipping and putting. From the most basic of chip shots to even those tricky ones where we get something like this, a little bit grainy, a little bit tough to play, hitting downwind, downhill. It's not about hitting perfect shots, but it is about being confident with what you have and knowing the appropriate way to play. And more than anything, knowing what the outcome of the shot's going to be like, because from there we could begin to work with the skills that we have. If I know that this is going to release as it hits the hill and runs down, I can begin to play the shot a particular way to allow for that. But if you're not practicing this shot, you're very, very likely to just mess it up, leave it in front of you, make the mistake and make what should have been a 4, worst case scenario, a 5 being a bogey, and you're going to turn it into a 6 or possibly even a 7. If we can chip it down the hill to a couple of feet, we give ourselves a chance of getting it up and down, and all through allocating a little bit more time during my practice and my training to my short game. Okay, so my most favorite advice to give players: play what you know, play what you train, and don't attempt what you don't do. What I mean by that, here we have a par 5. There's a half chance that I could rip my driver off the deck and I could possibly get it up onto the green. But you know what? I never practice hitting driver off of the deck, ever. Every now and again in a 4-person Ambrose, I might try and have a crack, and generally it's a knee high and it sculls out to the right. Or I have the safe play. I can take my 4-iron. I can lay it back short of the bunkers. I could leave myself about 50 odd yards into the green, which I'm pretty confident with my pitching. And funny enough, I practice my pitching. Guys, for you watching this video, you have to get to the point where you say that to yourself. You have to remind yourself, hit what you practice. Do not try to attempt shots that you haven't trained for, you haven't practiced, because the risk is too high. If I do hit my driver and I do scunge it slightly out to the right here, the chance of getting on the green and making an eagle is so slim, but the chance of me hitting it into the hazard on the right or the hazard on the left, or stone cold topping it and still then having at least a 4-iron to get onto the green is far greater. So play what you train. You do that and you're going to find yourself having a lot better chances at making birdies and certainly making a lot more pars. Guys, if you're one of the players struggling to break 80 for that first time, remember the 3 A's. You're going to hit some bad golf shots. There's no 2 ways about it. We use the 3 A's here. We acknowledge, I've hit a bad golf shot. It's going to happen. I'm not a robot. I'm human. I will make mistakes. Okay? We accept. That's so important. I accept that, hey, I've hit a bad golf shot. If I can get out of my own way, if I can avoid getting angry or berating myself, if I can get that frustration, that red mist out of the way, if I can see through that, then that acceptance is going to allow me to go up and then do the final part, which is advance. Guys, we have to be able to advance the next shot closer to the hole and closer than perhaps, you know, many of you guys feel is possible. But that advanced stage is quite easy, provided we remember acceptance. We have to accept it's a bad shot. Then when we stand up over the next shot, we're able to advance the ball that much closer. So the 3 A's, that's the final part. If you've watched to this part of the video, congratulations, because that's probably the most important part of it. Acknowledge, accept, and then advance. You guys do that, whether it be for chipping, full swing, putting, you name it, you're going to find it very, very easy to start breaking 80 regularly. As always, guys, I appreciate taking the time to watch today's video. I do hope you found it helpful. I do hope that some of this information will pay off for you. Again, remember, please, if you like the video, just hit that little thumbs up for me. Comment. I'll be more than happy to discuss in the comments with anybody anything about today's video. Or if you'd like some help in general, please put a comment in there and I will get back to you. Don't forget to subscribe so you do not miss out when the videos drop. And until next time, happy golfing.